Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka Day. Today's Shloka is Shloka number 4 of chapter 16. Dambho darpho bhimanascha
Dambho darpo bhimanascha
dhaf parushyameva cha
krodaf parushyameva cha
ajnanam cha bhijatasya
ajnanam cha bhijatasya
partha sampadamasurim.
partha sampadamasurim.
Word meaning, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Dambhaha,
Dambhaha,
pride.
pride.
Darpaha,
Darpaha,
arrogance.
arrogance.
Abhimanaha,
Abhimanaha,
conceit.
conceit.
Cha,
and
krodhaha,
krodhaha,
anger.
Parushyam,
Harshness. Eva, certainly. Cha, and ajnanam, ignorance. Cha, and abhijatasya, of one who is born of. Partha, O son of Pritha. Sampadam, the qualities. Asurim, of the demoniac nature. Translation: pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature. O son of Pritha. So, unlike the previous three shlokas, where Srila Prabhupada explains every single word, here Prabhupada actually writes a very short, but in this verse, the royal road to hell is described. The demoniac want to make a show of religion and advancement in spiritual science, although they do not follow the principles. They are always arrogant or proud and possessing some type of education or so much wealth. They desire to be worshipped by others and demand respectability, although they do not command respect. Over trifles, they become very angry and speak harshly, not gently. They do not know what should be done and what should not be done. They do everything whimsically, according to their own desire, and they do not recognize any authority. These demoniac qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies, in the wombs of their mothers, and as they grow, they manifest all these inauspicious qualities. So we'll read a couple of other commentaries from His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu and another Sampradaya. Shri Krishna now expounds upon the 6 traits of those who possess demoniac natures. They are hypocrites, meaning they make an external show of virtuous behavior for impressing others without possessing the matching internal traits. This creates an artificial Jekyll and Hyde personality. There is a very famous book based on which movies were made, Jekyll and Hyde, which you're diametrically opposite exhibitions of character in one same person. So this creates an artificial Jekyll and Hyde personality, which is impure internally, but has the external appearance of being pure. The behavior of demoniac-natured people is arrogant and disrespectful to others. They are proud and conceited about their bodily possessions and designations, such as wealth, education, beauty, position, etc. They become angry when due to lack of control of the mind, their lust and greed are frustrated. They are cruel and harsh and devoid of sensitivity for others' sufferings in their interactions with them. They have no understanding of the spiritual principles and hold uprighteousness to be righteousness. So, a couple of commentaries from His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. So the question is, why do we have to identify with the villains in the scriptures? Normally we identify with the heroes. Whenever we study scriptures, we tend to identify with the virtuous characters, whether it is Ram or Sita or Hanuman. That's good. But it's also helpful to identify with characters like Ravana. That means we don't just dismiss them as terrible beings who are demons, but we try to understand their psychology. And often we will see that traces of their mentality are present within us also. By understanding how they did such terrible deeds and how the seeds of that kind of reasoning and that kind of mentality are there within us also, we can become cautious about what we should not do. Villains can be good examples of bad examples. So essentially, when we are reading scriptures, we should also ask ourselves, do we have traces of the characteristics that the so-called demons exhibit that is there within us as well? And if yes, and if we are honest with ourselves, how are we going to actually tackle it? I like this particular commentary. Although it talks about humility, which came in an earlier shloka, nevertheless, the opposite of humility is pride, right? And that pride is mentioned here in this shloka. Humility learns even from success. Pride, not even from failure. We often learn much more from our failures than from our successes. When we succeed, we may become so full of ourselves as to think, what is there to learn? I know, that's why I am successful. In contrast, when we fail, we frequently become contemplative and receptive to learn how we can improve ourselves. Some people, however, don't learn even from failure. Such people are ungodly and demonic. The Bhagavad Gita 16.4 outlines their qualities, which begin with arrogance and end with ignorance. Though they don't know ignorance, they think they know arrogance. Even when they fail, they don't think of improving themselves. Instead, they find excuses and scapegoats. Their arrogance traps them in ignorance, and their ignorance exacerbates their arrogance. Exacerbates means the more you're ignorant, the more severe your arrogance also becomes. So they are interconnected there. Such self-destructive self-obsession is demonstrated in the Mahabharata through the demonic Duryodhana. He was mad with greed and blind to both Krishna's omnipotence and the Pandavas' virtues. So he could not see that Krishna was the Supreme Lord. He could not understand that the Pandavas were virtuous personalities. He was just so consumed with himself. Being thus deluded, he schemed against the Pandavas repeatedly. Though all his schemes ended up making them stronger, he adamantly refused to learn from anyone, from elders, sages, Krishna, or even his own experience. Consequently, he courted his own destruction. In contrast, the humble Pandavas saw even in their successes the hand of Krishna. By thus learning about his omnipotent benevolence, they become increasingly devoted to him. When we are humble, we appreciate as gifts from God the abilities that help us to succeed. With this devotional vision, we learn to use those abilities not just to achieve success externally, but also to connect internally with Krishna. By such a learning attitude, we make worthwhile material contributions and relish spiritual absorption in Krishna. Ultimately, That relishable inner connection empowers us to move through life's many temporary successes and failures towards life's supreme success, eternal, ecstatic absorption in Krishna. So it is up to us what we want to cultivate, right? Do we want to cultivate the 26 divine qualities, or do we want to cultivate and continue to enable our negative tendencies like the 6 that Krishna has identified here? So that is the essence of this particular shloka.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.